Greetings to everyone! Mr.Recaps here. This time I want to continue a film called Alvin and the Chipmunks, the second sequel, released in the year 2009. This film is still continuing from its first school, where the three chipmunks go to school. They then meet women. But they are not just being friends. They even compete against each other too. Wow, you must be more curious, right? Let's keep going with the story. Spoilers ahead. Stay safe and enjoy. The film begins with the Alvin and the Chipmunks concert by showing his guitar playing. Their concert was also broadcast all over the country. Alvin and the Chipmunks' performance was so stunning. Alvin decided to change the strings on his guitar, but Dave warned him not to because it would reveal his action. And this show is just an open charity event. But Alvin and the Chipmunks still performed like a concert, and then Alvin threw his guitar. Dave told him to come down. But he didn't want to listen to Dave, so that made Dave seriously injured. As a result, Dave went to the hospital. The three chipmunks just entered the room and talked to Dave to apologize for his mistake. Then Dave said while he was at the hospital, they will be cared for by Aunt Jackie, who will take care of them. Then the doctor told them to leave, but sadly, they all didn't want to go. He made another mess in the room at the hospital. Later, three chipmunks go out to the airport and are picked up by Aunt Jackie. They greeted each other. The aunt also introduced her nephew, named Toby. When Toby took the chipmunk's bag, coincidentally, he made the aunt fall down the stairs, and she also had a serious injury, which she was taken by ambulance to the hospital. Because he had no choice, he brought the chipmunks to go home with him. They then arrived home, where the chipmunks were hungry and looking for food. Toby was suddenly shocked and lost focus on playing the game. Toby then said that he was the first winner in the game, so he had to focus. Not long after the phone rang, it turned out that it was Dave who had called Toby. Because they were noisy, it made Dave very suspicious of the chipmunks. At night, while they were sleeping, Theodore woke up as usual in his nightmare. He also woke Toby, but Theodore actually made him angry and more stupid. So, make Theodore fear him and run away. In the morning, the loud alarm woke Alvin up. He also started to wake up and Toby also woke up. Then Alvin told him because it was the first day for them to go to school. Toby took the chipmunks to go to school. When they arrived at school, they were very confused. Because there were so many people there, the principal greeted them. The principal also took them to class. Alvin, the new student, also began to greet his classmates because they were cute. The girls started to approach them as well. Then the chipmunks, who started introducing themselves because they were artists, made them easy to get hit by the boys who were previously famous in class, starting to become jealous of them. Yes, about Lon, who was a music producer and used to be famous. Now his fate is like this, living under his office building. He went bankrupt, so his life fell like this. He turns out that he hated all the chipmunks. Outside the office building, there is a post dropped a ticket by accident. It turns out that there are another three chipmunks characters. They accidentally saw Lon while brushing his teeth. They then introduced themselves to Lon. Namely, Brittany, Eleanor, and Jeanette. They also said that they wanted to be famous like Alvin and the Chipmunks. After that, Lon told them to sing, which also took them to the top of his office building. It's very attractive. Lon was immediately shocked and liked them. Then he is thinking about his next plan, which is to make a lot of money from them. The girls also tell Lon that she wants to meet the chipmunks. But Lon has to lie again. Yes, his name is the King of Lies. He also bombs the chipmunks like a bad person, but in fact they are innocent. However, the Chipettes now believe that story was made by Lon and he convinces them to abuse chipmunks also. Back to school because the chipmunks were famous. So they were surrounded by their fans in the cafeteria. Apparently, the boys of this school did them and told these women to leave that bench. Then this man threatened the chipmunks not to talk to girls anymore. So, the boys also abused them. Alvin and Simon saw Theodore being bullied by these men and fiercely made them angry with that. A moment later, the chipmunks were called by the headmaster. The chipmunks asked the headmaster to get them out of the school. Instead, the principal wanted to appear on their school's music program. Because the principal of this school had chipmunk tattoos, which means she is a big fan of them. So, she wants them to join the music program at this school. Then the chipmunks agree with her. At the house, Simon and Theodore saw the house so messy because Toby was playing games with bowling balls. It made a cracking sound and shocked Toby when he saw them. Then Simon told him that they were being bullied at school. That's when he made Toby remember what happened at school to him before. They should also go to school when the alarm sounds in the morning. At first, they went to school. It was not fun. So, they don't want to go to school. Toby then looks for them everywhere. Apparently, they were hiding in the toilet. Toby said that the second day would be more fun than the first day at school. Now is the time for sports class to begin. Simon fell down and was careless, while Alvin was unexpectedly able to hold the ball with his little feet. But it made Alvin ask them to be friends. So, they also allowed Alvin to hang out with them. Day after day, making Alvin at his school more famous again. Lon, on the other hand, has successfully broken into his office again and has already contacted several music producers. But they rejected him. That made him feel angry. Now the Chipmunks have discussed what song they were going to perform. Chipettes and Chipmunks meet unexpectedly. Now they see each other in there. Alvin started to fall in love with Brittany. While the Chipmunks were practicing singing, it looked like they were not focused on their song, because they were thinking about Chipettes. Not long after, Toby came here. That's when they knew that the music teacher, named Julie, was a friend from his old school. Toby also turned out to be shy on the other side, so she came and he hurried out of that time. Now Lon comes to meet the principal to ask her to show Chipettes up on the program. But the principal didn't allow them to appear, because she had already decided. But Lon did not give up. So, he tries to recruit the Chipettes to perform a song for the principal to demonstrate their talent. The audience also made an impression, which made the principal agree to allow Chipettes in the show program school. That night, Simon forces Alvin to train for his later performance, which makes them quarrel and they don't sleep together. Theodore feels sad, and he tries to wake Toby up to sleep with him. So, Toby doesn't want to have any problems, so he then allows him to sleep with him. Here goes at school now. Alvin tried to talk with Brittany, but Brittany wouldn't listen to him. Then he got in a fight with Brittany and fell down. That made her very angry. Lon wanted to make the Chipettes stars and encourage them to practice singing and dancing more. On the other hand, at Dave's house, the phone rang. Dave was very upset because his house had Toby, not Aunt Jackie, because he was very worried about the Chipmunks. Finally, Dave hung up the phone during that time. At school now, Simon was appointed as a garbage warning officer. He began to do his job with his students by fining those who threw rubbish. And Simon also gave a garbage warning letter to them. But it turns out that Simon was actually being bullied by Alvin's friends. At school, Alvin was looking for Simon. He tried to apologize to Simon, but Simon instead asked him to have a fight. When Theodore came, he made them stop the fight. Alvin then went to see the football, which Alvin's school was losing, but suddenly Alvin came into play, which Alvin's school finally won the game. After that, the time on the music program, the principal gave a speech by opening it. The principal also granted the Chipettes the privilege of going first. And then Chipettes finished her performance. Then, close to the turn, the Chipmunks. But unfortunately, Alvin hasn't shown up yet, which forced Simon to say that they can't sing without him. Although they like or dislike, they do not perform without Alvin. When Alvin gets there, the performance has already ended. Brittany runs to him. She tells Alvin that he doesn't care about anyone. That made him feel disappointed. In the morning, Alvin read the letter stuck to his refrigerator. That's a letter that was written by Theodore. The contents of the letter explained that he ran away from home and went to the zoo, so don't look for him at the zoo. At zoo when Theodore ran away to the zoo, that's why he strayed. He accidentally walked into Bald Eagle Kenny's place, where he was really scared of the bird. Fortunately, Alvin and Simon arrived on time and managed to save Theodore from Eagle here too. Alvin apologizes to Simon and Theodore. Because it happened to them, they are reconciled again. On the other hand, Lon said to Chipettes, they were invited to an event tonight, but it coincided with a competition event from the school. Lon also said that it was a school contest and told them that the news of Brittany would be to become a famous artist, while his two sisters would be the background singers. Unfortunately, the three of them didn't agree with the decision. Yes, such denial made Lon threat to them. At the school competition event, the host opened his speech. Lon immediately called Toby, but when Alvin picked it up, it turned out to be not Lan's voice, Brittany's voice, which made Alvin surprised. Brittany then said that they were going to an event, and Lon locked them in the cage. Alvin also rides a toy motorcycle to follow them while Simon teaches Theodore how to unlock it with a toy motorbike. At that time, Jeanette can unlock their cage, and they try to climb the roof and escape. They were then picked up by Alvin.
Jump, Jeanette! Wait! I guess I owe you an apology about Ian. Stick with me, Fritz.
Later, Lon found out about their escape, so he chased them with a toy helicopter. The Chipettes then tried to grab the remote-controlled toy helicopter and threw away the shoes. It made the motorbike toy crash on him, so it hurt. Back again in the school competition, the program is about to end. But Alvin and the Chipettes are still not coming. Because that's why he wanted to delay it. So, he goes on trying to sing by looking at the person he likes to confession. He tells everyone there that he has fallen in love with Julie. That makes her feel shy. Suddenly, there is applause. Meanwhile, Alvin and the Chipettes use a helicopter to come there. They appear together again and start to perform a song together. Dave was also there to see them perform. And Toby was looking for a woman who he liked. In the end, they helped their school win the competition. Back on Lon and the performance show now is to express himself as Brittany. So, the security guards arrested him in shame. In the final scene, Dave's house is getting busier with Chipettes and Chipmunks. At night, Dave also says goodnight to them before going to sleep. But Alvin makes Dave angry at him and yells out at Alvin again.
Make me come over there!
Okay!
Whoa! Alvin!
Thank you for watching. I hope you liked it. Subscribe for more videos like this. Turn on notifications and give like to help the channel out. See you in the next video. Mr.Recaps says goodbye.